guiding you through what I did this week in order to achieve my dream job, and it was actually something which I thought I had done right before, but then I looked back at it and I was totally wrong. Then we're going to be speaking about the importance of having objectives in your life, as well as having some self scrutiny, being able to look within and see what's kind of wrong with yourself, both on a physical aspect and a mental aspect. Small disclaimer here, okay? I noticed that last video I was really close to the camera. I was like this, and it seemed a bit intimidating for some reason. So now I've kind of come back a little bit. If I'm bobbing like this, I'm sorry, but it's my chair. It's broken. If my accommodation is seeing this, it was me who broke it. It already came like this 3 years ago. It was already like this. But yeah, it's kind of like broken, so it's always bobbing around, so I can't really stay still. Also, if you see any sort of like reflection on my glasses, it's because I'm using the TV as a light source. I'm just using the blue light from the PlayStation background. So, my weekly advances this past week were to use a technique of looking within and trying to understand of all the jobs that I've already applied to, why I was not being chosen. And I thought one main reason was I'm applying for jobs, but I'm only finishing my course in 9 months. There's probably no one looking for people that far ahead. And due to that, I was like, okay, there's nothing wrong with me. I just wanted to get some rounds under my belt in some way to kind of maybe step up to one interview, gain experience from that so then I can kind of understand how to progress to my next interviews. But I was like, maybe it's something wrong with my materials. My CV, um, it was good, and when I look back at it now, I was happy with the graphic line and everything. But there were some really obvious grammatical mistakes that I was looking at it. I'm like, how did you, send this out knowing that it was like this? It was like critical, because in terms of the graphic line, okay, I adjusted some things, the height of the letters, the thickness of some letters, that was it. But the grammatical mistakes, if an employer is gonna look at that and see this guy doesn't even know how to pronounce employee, that's not good. Another part was my portfolio. Now, not all design jobs require portfolio upon application. However, some of them do, and the ones that do are the ones for the really big companies. So you really need to do something that really catches their attention. Because the portfolio was built for a module on my third year, my last year, and I didn't have time to finish it. By time management, I know, my fault. I didn't have time to finish it, but I submitted it like that. When I submitted it, I finished my other project, I had my final show, and then when it was time to go on my interview, I had to get my whole room like cleaned up in like 7 hours. So my head was all over the place. And then going from that into an interrail was like my mind was all over the place. I didn't really think about school. When I got to Portugal after my interrail was done, I kind of had time to sit down. But when I sat down, I thought, I don't want to spend the summer not doing anything. So I might as well find a job. So I went and found a job in a surf shop that I've worked the previous year to the last one. All obviously working and prioritizing surfing over employability at that point was something that in my mind seemed better because I wanted to have some kind of with money reserves because finishing masters, you're kind of going out to a new world and you need to have deposit for an apartment, um, extra money in case you can't find a job in the first month, everything like that. So I was like, maybe I should play it safe, get some money. But then I was like, okay, I'm already working, so might as well, you know, have fun and surf. So throughout the summer, I did not pay attention to my portfolio, and when I came back here, I was like, okay, I need to get my life straight. I got everything in order. I tried to multitask. I tried to do everything, and I was like, I'm gonna start on LinkedIn, and I did. I did start on LinkedIn. However, I was sending out curriculums without even looking at my CV and my portfolio. I was just sending them out. And I was lucky that there were some kind companies that would reply me back saying, I'm sorry, but the employer has decided not to move on with your application because we found someone better. Some of them were that nice because honestly, looking back at my stuff that I had, I was like, I didn't even deserve a response. I must have been taken on as if I was a joke. And being taken on as a joke didn't really sit well with me because I don't think it's just me, I think it's everyone. You are always hoping you are able to find a job even before you finish the course you're doing. That way, when you step outside of university, out of kind of a shield, and you're out into the job world, you already have that kind of security net like, okay, I'm stepping out of my comfort zone, I'm putting down deposits, I'm doing this, all this amount of money is just disappearing, but at least you already know, okay, but at the end of, let's say, October, at the end of October, I have the minimum wage coming in. So it's kind of a cushioning net almost. So with this in mind, I thought, okay, I need to backtrack a bit, take a break from sending out curriculums like this, just focus on, in the meantime, displaying my projects both on Instagram and on LinkedIn, as well as creating connections with people on LinkedIn. I was like, okay, take it easy. You have 8 months until your master's is done. You have probably around 5 months for until you can go back to Portugal in the summer and work in the surf shop again over the summer. So whilst you're finishing your thesis, uh, so you still have time, and if anything, you can either stay there and continue working there, or come back and try to work here. So everything has a solution. So I've started to realize that before I was always like, oh, I'm stressing out, I'm stressing out. Now I'm more like, this is not a good solution at all. Not at all. However, I do have this going to my favor. I do have this, I do have this. With this in mind, I also decided to cancel my clothing brand. I developed one, but I kind of jump into it with a hot head. Um, and I decided to just buy a Shopify subscription, buy a website domain, and try to do Shopify dropshipping. But it wasn't my thing at all. It was definitely the hardest thing I could imagine. All the YouTube videos did not make it justice. When you are not certain of what you even want and what you're even capable of, trying to develop several side quests at the same time is only going to detract you from the main quest, which is in my case was to finish my masters. And for this part, it was really important to have objectives. I had the objective of passing my master's degree in the distinction level. I had the objective of as well keep up with schedule, be more time oriented, manage my time better. So having a YouTube channel in which I already know, okay, maybe recording a video is going to take half an hour, but then editing is going to take like 3 hours. There's a lot of bits and pieces that you guys don't see that are just being chopped out, and selecting those and trying to, for example, I noticed my first video I was always saying so, so this, so that. So all those so's, all those little grammatical handles, they need to be removed so the text seems fluent and it's actually attractive to you guys. So it's taking me time to still learn that, and also how to time comedy in a good way, how where to cut, heighten the brightness, put a new filter, all of that. So I'm still learning that, but it's good. It's good. It's an objective, and I have the objective of learning that. I also have the objective of learning one language. I still haven't gotten around to that, just because I've tried to do too many things once, and it didn't not go well at all. You kind of almost, you don't have a mental breakdown, but you have mental exhaustion, so you get really tired of it and you lose all the creativity you have. So I will live to learn a new language. I still need to really decide first. I still need to really decide which one I really want to focus on, but I will leave learning a new language for another time, probably in a month, when I see I already can manage my YouTube schedule with my university schedule well and there's no problem. I'll do that. The second part that really helped me to understand what was wrong was having a bit of self scrutiny. So, being able to look within and seeing, okay, there's this wrong. You didn't do this. For example, the CV. You could have looked at this like, I don't know, 5 months ago or something like that, and maybe by now you would have already been able to go to an interview. And even if you're not accepted, at least you'll get the experience. With this, I don't mean that you need to look at other people and believe they're always right, because that's not true. Sometimes you're wrong, sometimes other people are wrong. You just need to understand if their perspective comes from a point of ignorance or a point of experience. Because sometimes they don't have any experience and they're just speaking with a mouthful. And you need to understand that, yeah, they don't know what they're saying. However, if the person speaking from experience, it's noticeable on their tone of voice and the arguments they made. They're more clear. So you definitely need to understand when to listen and when to tell people that they need to listen. That was it, guys. I know it's a weird format. It's quite rapid fire, but it's something that I think it's more fluid and I wanted to try it instead of having like segmented parts. So please let me know what you think in the comments, and if you prefer the more chopped up design in a way, let me know and I'll try to adopt that into this style, so kind of make a hybrid of sorts. Also, pay attention. I think I might be dropping a video in the middle of the week, so probably Wednesday, because I'm traveling to London on Friday and Saturday for Valentine's Day, so I won't be able to post anything on Sunday except a vlog of a travel to London. So yeah, never give up, and always remember that sometimes you need to look within first so you can have a good impression on the world outside of you.